This video is on solving radical equations with rational exponents. So step one, isolate the radical by moving everything else to the other side of the equal sign. You're going to get rid of the rational exponent, which is what creates our radical, by raising both sides of the equal sign to the reciprocal of the rational exponent. Remember, reciprocal is the fraction flipped over. You're going to solve the equation and check for extraneous solutions. So making sure your answers actually work when you plug them back in. All right, so with this first one, we have 16x plus 8 to the power of 1/3 is equal to 6. So I have the radical by itself. Remember, this is raised to the power of 1/3, so that's the same thing as the cube root of 16x plus 8. So this is the radical part all by itself. So to get rid of that rational exponent, I'm going to raise the entire thing to the reciprocal of that exponent. So the reciprocal of 1/3 is 3/1. But anything you do to one side, you must do to the other. 3/1 is just 3. So on this side, I could just write it as 3. Okay, remember when you have a power to a power, you multiply them together. So I'm just going to do my math over here so you can see what I'm doing. So 1/3 times 3/1. So some people can see right away, I know that equals the number 1. But let's do the math to make sure. 1 times 3 is 3, over 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 divided by 3 is 1. So together, when we multiply those together, it's to the power of 1. And well, 16x plus 8 raised to the power of 1 is just 16x plus 8 is equal, on the other side, we have 6 to the power of 3/1, which is just 6 to the power of 3, which is equal to 216. Now I'm just going to solve for x. I'm going to subtract 8 on both sides, and we have 16x is equal to 208. Next step, to get x by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by 16. And we get x is equal to 13. Okay, but I want to double check and make sure this actually works. So I'm going to plug 13 in for x in my original problem. So over here is the check. I have 16 times x, which is 13, plus 8 to the power of 1/3 should equal 6. So I'm just going to simplify this side. I'm just going to plug it into my calculator. So I have, in parentheses, 16 times 13 plus 8 raised to the power of 1/3. So I'm going to do to the power of the caret button, and then I'm just going to type in, whoops, I hit it twice. I'm going to put in parentheses my 1/3. I'm going to type 1 divided by 3, because 1 divided by 3 is the same thing as 1/3. Press equals, and that does reduce to 6. So this side does reduce to 6. Because the two sides are equal, I know this answer is correct. All right, next one. Okay, we have to get x to the power of 1/2 by itself. That 2 is not raised to a rational exponent. 2 is just multiplied by x to the power of 1/2. So that 2 has to go to the other side. There's a plus 4 here. That has to go to the other side. So first step is to get rid of that plus 4. I'm going to subtract 4 on both sides. So we get 72 is equal to 2 times x to the power of 1/2. Okay, because 2 is multiplied by x to the power of 1/2, I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So I'm going to do 72 divided by 2 gives me 36. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so we have x to the power of 1/2. Okay, now the radical part, the part with my rational exponent, is all by itself. So I'm going to raise both sides to the reciprocal of my rational exponent. So reciprocal, flip it over. So it's 2/1, which is just the same thing as 2. Okay, power to a power, we're going to multiply the exponents together. I'm just going to do the math up here so you can see it again. Just like the other one, 1/2 times 2 over 1. 1 times 2 is 2. Over 2 times 1 is 2. And 2 divided by 2 is 1. So together they cancel each other out. That's the whole goal there. Get rid of that exponent, that rational exponent. So this reduces to just x to the power of 1, or x. It's equal to, on the other side, we have 36 to the power of 2 over 1, which is just 36 to the power of 2, which gives me 1,296. Okay, I do have to double check this, make sure it's not extraneous. So my check, I'm just going to plug it into the original problem. We have 76 is equal to 2 times our x value, which is 1,296 raised to the power of 1/2 plus 4. Okay, I have to do my exponents first, so I'm going to do 1,296 to the power of 1/2, 1 divided by 2, in parentheses. I'm going to multiply that times 2 and then add 4 on using my order of operations. And this side is equal to 76. So the two sides are equal to each other, meaning this answer is correct. All right, I have another problem that it's a little more involved. It has a few more steps. All right, my first step is I want 41x plus 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 4/3 to be all by itself. So I have to get rid of this -2 that's multiplied on, this plus 8. So I'm going to start by getting rid of what's added on. So I'm going to subtract 8 on both sides. So I'm left with -2 times 41x plus 2 to the power of 4/3 is equal to -1,250. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this -2 that's multiplied here by dividing both sides by -2. -2 divided by -2 is +1. Okay, so this side I have 41x plus 2 raised to the power of 4/3 is equal to, we have -1,250 divided by -2 is +625. Okay, I have to raise each side to the reciprocal of the fraction, so 3 over 4. Again, when you multiply anything by its reciprocal, it equals the number 1. So 4/3 times 3/4 equals 1. So we're left with 41x plus 2 to the power of 1, or just 41x plus 2, is equal to, okay, I'm going to use my calculator. I'm going to type in 625 to the power of 3 divided by 4 gives me 125. Okay, now I'm just going to solve for x. So I'm going to subtract 2 on both sides. And I get 41x is equal to 123. Divide both sides by 41. And I just ran out of room. I'm going to move my answer over here. X is equal to 123 divided by 41, which is 3. So I'm going to go back and double check that this is actually an answer. It's not extraneous. So starting with the original problem, -2 times 41 multiplied by my x value, which is 3. I'm going to write down that this is my check so I know what this work means. Plus 2 raised to the power of 4/3 plus 8 is equal to -1,242. Okay, I'm going to type this into my calculator. All right, I have in the parentheses, 41 times 3 plus 2 raised to the power of 4 divided by 3 multiplied by negative 2 plus 8. This side reduces to negative 1,242. Because the two sides are equal, I know that x equals 3 is my answer. All right, I have 3 problems for you to go ahead and try. Try them out, and then we can go through the answers together. All right, that first one, I'm going to raise both sides to the power of 2 over 3. So these multiply to equal 1, so I have 20x plus 4 is equal to, hopefully you have your calculator, 512 raised to the power of 2 divided by 3 gives you 64. Whoops. Subtract 4 on both, subtract 4 on both sides. 4 minus 4 is 0. So I'm left with 20x is equal to 60. Divide both sides by 20. And x is equal to 3. Go back and check your answer. Plug. I'm just going to plug 3 in for x. So I have 20 times 3 plus 4 is 64. I'm going to raise it to the power of 3 divided by 2. That gives me 512, which is this side also. So double checking your calculator is nice and quick. All right, this one we had to divide both sides by 2. 18 divided by 2 is 9, which equals x to the power of 1/3. We're going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal, 3 over 1. We're going to multiply, or raise each side to the reciprocal, 3 over 1. These multiply to equal 1. So 9 to the power of 3 is 729, and that should equal x. I'm just going to plug that into my calculator. For this side, we have 2. Well, let's do the exponent part. So x is 729 raised to the power of 1 divided by 3, and that's multiplied by 2, which is 18. So the two sides are equal. Okay, and the last one, we're going to subtract 7 on both sides. You get negative 3 times 5x plus minus 9. Wow, getting in a hurry. To the power of 5/4 is equal to negative 3. All right, this side's being multiplied by negative 3, so I need to divide both sides by negative 3. And I get 5x minus 9 to the power of 5/4 is equal to positive 1. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is positive 1. All right, I need to raise both sides to the power of 4/5. Okay, these multiply to equal 1, so I get 5x minus 9 is equal to 1. Because 1 to the power of 4/5 is just 1. Okay, I'm going to add 9 to both sides. I get 5x equals 10. Divide both sides by 5, and x is equal to 2. So I'm going to plug 2 back in for x. I have 5 times 2 minus 9 is 1, raised to the power of 5 divided by 4 is 1, multiplied by negative 3 plus 7 is 4, which it is 4. So I know I got the correct answer.